Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues and the Batman universe as we are continuing here our look at the Batman animated series figures brought to us by Kenner. And I had a couple little breaks in here doing these figures. I kind of ran out of the bank of videos that I had. Something that kind of set me back a little bit was doing the Batman Death of the Family special that just aired right before this review, and that was something I spent a lot of time on editing and putting together and recording with my wife, so I hope you check that out. It was kind of a long video, probably one of the longest ones I've done. It clocked in at almost 50 minutes, but we had a really good time doing it, so I'd like it if you could go check it out and let me know what you think of that. Mr. Freeze, I believe he is a 1993 figure. Yes, he is. And a lot of the main essential villains ended up being released in 1993, but the first core batch of figures came out early, then towards the tail end of 93. We did get Mr. Freeze and just a couple others. And then, of course, the multi-coalition rainbow assortment of Batman and Robins. Mr. Freeze, because of the animated series, has become one of my favorite villains. He's right up there with me with Hush and Clayface. And some people may say, Rob, you don't like the Joker? No, I do like the Joker a lot. But some of these other villains that were kind of obscure and quirky in the 60s or even in the 80s when Mr. Freeze was kind of sort of part of the Superpowers line of figures. He was in this weird white and orange and blue suit and was always just really seemed kind of a C or a D-list Batman villain. And once Paul Dini came on board for Batman the Animated Series, he wrote such a beautiful episode called The Heart of Ice, which I think most Batman fans will probably agree is probably one of the best. If you had to pick one Batman episode for somebody to watch to get into what the series is like, The Heart of Ice episode with Mr. Freeze is such an amazing episode now as we watch them on video and DVD, but I highly recommend that. They really made Mr. Freeze into an actual villain rather than, you know, the Arnold Schwarzenegger pun type of villain, or even the Otto Preminger, I think, is who originally played him in the Adam West Burt Ward TV series, that he was just kind of this, you know, villain of the month, and then, you know, the next episode would be Vincent Price as Egghead, who Egghead wasn't a real villain, he was just created for the show, but I kind of got that impression with Mr. Freeze in that. And then finding out he is an actual comic book villain for Batman. But once the animated series hit, DC changed how Mr. Freeze was, and that was in large part to Paul Dini, and he just wrote such an amazing episode and really made me love the villain of Victor Freeze, aka Mr. Freeze. So when this figure came out, this was a no-brainer to have in my collection. As you can see here, he comes with his freezing backpack, which he really didn't have in the animated series. He just had a gun, but you can guess the gimmick here is going to be an ice gun or a water gun. The other part of the accessory that I lost, there was a blue icicle, which I've been kind of slow on my Facebook page uploading things, so I've been uploading a lot of the box art in one shot. But if you go down to my Facebook page here, right at the bottom, you'll be able to see the artwork for Mr. Freeze, and I'm going to try and get that up as soon as this video uploads. But if not, it'll definitely be up tomorrow, but probably later on this evening. And so there was, you know, this blue icicle that when you squeeze the tank, the water pressure would go through the hose and then shoot out the icicle. That didn't always work really well. It was kind of hollow on the inside, and it actually made more of a mess because it was trying to force the icicle out, so you would get this spray coming out from the side of the gun, and eventually the icicle did end up coming off, but it kind of dropped. But when the icicle isn't on there, the water shoots out a lot better because, you know, it's not filling up the length of the icicle. Again, it's probably with Robin's glider and infrared Batman's dome and turbojet Batman's thing. So again, you know, standard 5 points of, actually, now that I say that, he has 4 points of articulation. I would say the standard action figure articulation. He's got the 2 arms that move, and with the pack, they aren't hindered at all. The legs come up, and like most Kenner figures, he can get in a seated position very well. And that's it. Because of the dome on his head, the dome doesn't come off, you can't get the head to move. I would assume if I cracked the dome or I broke it off, that you would be able to turn the head, but we will never know, and I will never take it off. So we'll take the backpack off here. We'll move that out of the way. So I think you can guess what I'm going to do. I'll bring up my wife's Pampered Chef bowl here. Prep bowl, as it's called. Put the ice gun down in the water. So which is cool about this one, it's translucent, the backpack, so you can actually see the water fill up. So you can't get it full all the way because it's only able to suck in as much water as the container, as you could squeeze the container, if that makes, I don't know what the mathematical equation is, but you can't get it all the way up. I can't get all the air out, only about to where I'm squeezing. You get up here where the little plastic band is, it doesn't want to squeeze as much, so you can only squeeze as much there. Maybe somebody could figure out the space and all that stuff. I have a friend that's an engineer that can go, well, Rob, because blah, blah, blah. Shh, we're going to fire this thing off. So there you go. We will fire it off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So much like the Joker's water gun that he had, same way, we'll let it go here. Let's see it fill it up. So this is really cool. And again, for 20 years old, still works. Not that there's anything in it, it's just having to force air through, but you can see it pushes it out pretty good. It wasn't this great force like the ads would show on TV. It's like, wow, look at that. You know, they must be off to the side with this power washer, because I remember seeing the ads that this thing just looked like it shot like an 80-foot stream of water. And so I was a little disappointed when I got it home that it didn't shoot that far, but it did shoot pretty well. And like I said, I was in high school when this came out, so I was kind of, sort of, you know, still somewhat playing with the my action figures, and but it was basically just kind of, you know, just setting things up, and but I would play with the water features and kind of make a mess in my room, and I would hear, Rob, you're old enough to know better. You playing with your dolls again? No, Mom, I'm not. Okay, maybe I was. So, again, I think this is an excellent figure. I think it's a must-have for Batman fans out there. Of course, you're looking at a 20-year-old figure, so some of these are getting to be a little pricey on eBay. I think an average price for a normal figure, and don't quote me on this, but one of my last reviews, I think somebody had bought the Mechwing Batman, and I want to say he paid $20 for that. Again, it's a bigger accessory. I think Mr. Freeze might be in the same ballpark. You might be able to find him for $10 to $15. You know, it's one of those that back in the day when I bought this, I paid a whole whopping $7.99 for him, which back then I thought was expensive, but in today's standards, I even think the normal 3 1/4 inch figures that the Marvel figures are out right now, I think they're pushing $8 or $9. So not that much has changed in price, but I guess it depends on the company and everything like that. But with all the working accessories, these might be pushing the $12 range if, you know, you extrapolate economy and blah, blah, blah. But again, I think this is a very good figure, and I do have another Mr. Freeze from the New Adventures of Batman, the final series of the Batman animated series, and we'll do a comparison. I did want to bring up Anti-Freeze Batman, like I said I was going to see if this Batman would work against Mr. Freeze, and kind of, sort of. Maybe we just move him out of the way and bring up standard Batman. Yeah, that looks better. So we'll get Batman out of the way here. We'll pull off Antifreeze Batman, put him back in his cold chamber. So today we've been taking a look at Mr. Freeze from the Batman animated series. Like I said, check out Heart of Ice. It's such a good episode. I believe at Walmart right now you can find Volume 1 and Volume 4 from the animated series. I don't know why they're not keeping 2 and 3 on the shelf, but you can, in number 1, Volume 1, the animated series video with Mr. Freeze is in there. I highly recommend it. So, as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues and the Batman Universe signing off saying we will see you guys next time.